Welcome to Soul Tribe Search Party, your go-to space for real talk, deep reflections, and unfiltered life moments. I'm your host, Breezy, and here we keep it raw, soulful, and authentic. Hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. Hey, Soul Tribe. Today, I had so much on my mind as far as how my weekend went. Last week was my birthday and I supposedly turned 31. Okay. As for the birthday experience, I just find that I'm getting disinterested, but I don't want to be. For some reason, I just lacked wanting to actually do something this time around. I don't know, but do we even need to celebrate our birthdays in particular? I don't know. But also, disclaimer, I literally just woke up. I spent this morning writing. I have just been all over the place with my thoughts. I feel like there was so many mental events or checkpoints going on that I wanted to make sure that I could just be able to reflect on all of the feels, right? I also did check to see when my period is because I'm trying to figure out just a cycle, right? What is the cycle of emotions that we go through as women? Because obviously, not one day can be constantly the same for us as far as how our emotions go, how we process things. Sometimes we have mental clarity and sometimes we don't. And honestly, this past weekend, I started to feel confused, not having the full mental clarity that I needed to keep pushing myself forward. I just started to feel defeated and less interested in stuff. Like usually I have like a hustle about me where I'm like, okay, yeah, I have a goal. This is what I want to do this week. But last week was literally like, I'm not doing shit. And it literally stuck like that. Like, yeah, I'm not doing shit. The thing about that though is that I will start to have a battle with myself because I'm like, okay, you don't want to do anything. Why? Like, okay, maybe you do deserve a break, or I don't know what the case may be. Like, it causes you to go into a self-reflection because obviously when you have a disruption in your routine, coming to a point where you've probably been disregarding stuff, and it's catching up to you, right? I have these points written down, so I'm going to reflect on each one because I did write down some of the main points of stuff that I was feeling, and I did share that basically already. The fact about my birthday is just that birthdays are emotional checkpoints. When they're bland or uneventful, they can trigger this existential pause. And when you see others being spontaneous or traveling, it highlights what feels out of reach right now. But the truth is, your current chapter isn't your final one. You're just in a planting season. That is how you remind yourself. If you also were having those kind of feelings, and I'm going to be honest, I do feel a little rocky with sharing today's points because with that being said, with me having all these thoughts and emotions going on, I'm still trying to learn how to process them out loud. Like, I have my internal world, but I don't always know how to bring that to life or share exactly what I'm saying. So I'm trying to share the mental clarity aspect of the point to which I was feeling a negative emotion towards. So I also had made a point about just missing how spontaneous, I have been in my life and how I used to just get up and go and just do stuff all the time. And now I feel like I'm being stagnant. Basically, the reflection from that is you're a full spectrum human being who's been used to freedom, movement, and expression. That part of you still exists. She's just learning how to reemerge in a new rhythm. So instead of fighting it, you can honor that version of you by weaving in like mini spontaneity sessions, such as a new trail walk, a quick solo tea date, random podcast brain dump with no pressure, which is kind of what this is. Sometimes I get nervous just speaking my truth because it's just a little too raw sometimes. Yes. So just finding balance with, if you feel like your life is more boring nowadays, it's honestly just because you have something new in your life, whether it be a baby or a partner, something like that, to which you need to reflect on. Obviously, if it comes to a partner, you need to reflect on if that is a positive or a negative for you. But if it's like a baby, like me, you have to obviously find your new rhythm, your new person, your new you, because now you live life with them included. And I mean, I honestly, I don't want to say I never pictured myself to be a mom, but I did wait until I turned 30. The way that I was just experiencing life, I just had no room to be a mom. Like, I just didn't want to be tied down in any form or aspect. I just wanted to be able to, like, what I mean by that is my ability to just pick up and leave and go places. That's what I like to do. I like to adventure, just do stuff. And when you're a parent, that slows you down a lot. I just have to be able to find my balance with still being able to be spontaneous, but you can get that kickback by just introducing small little things like what I had just said earlier. My next point that I also talked about. So I have these phases where I feel like I get stuck in my business mind, as far as I always get to this stage where I go hard for my businesses and then I plateau for a while. And I had watched a video on TikTok actually that stimulated this point, because he was just like, this is the moment where a lot of people quit. This is the moment right here where a lot of people quit. And at first I was going to skip past the video, but then I don't know what it was that made me stay there, because I honestly didn't even know he was talking about it at first. But then he started to get into it, the fact that a lot of people quit at this phase in their business, when they're right there, whatever it is, they might have some breakthrough. And I'm going to mash that with another video, because the dude said hustle on purpose every day, because it's like they always have their breakthrough, or you get rich on accident from hustling on purpose. I meshed those two videos together because in that moment I was like, yeah, that's why you can't just give up on yourself. Like, stuff is very hard. It's easier to just want to go punch the clock for somebody else because it doesn't take any mental drive, and you're just like, oh, this money, you can get it every day, or like, this is the money I'm going to get every check because this is a consistent thing that I have, right? But to each his own, because yes, I can also think like that. But the minute I let myself go back to working a regular job and I see this cycle, like, yeah, I'm not going to do this shit every day. I'm not going to do the same thing every day. And then this is like, my mind starts to get ahead of my work, as far as, yes, and then you're going to come in, you got to stay for this whole 8 hours. They want you to do XYZ every hour. And then all of a sudden, my input is heavier than the output. And then I'm calculating numbers like, actually, I feel like this amount of work deserves this amount of money, and they can't pay me that here. So that's when you kind of get back right where you are in your business venture with, yeah, I got to make some shit happen for myself, right? My biggest thing is, I don't like things to be like a popularity contest. I don't like to constantly cater to other people. Like, yes, I obviously you have to do marketing for yourself and put yourself out there, so people can get a feel for you because they got to feel you, if they want to use your products. But at the same time, it's like a lot of business owners, a lot of good ones, I should say, struggle with being an extrovert and not that kind of extrovert where, to go out and talk to people. Because on a daily basis, if somebody talks to me, I can speak back. I know how to carry a conversation. It's just that to go above and beyond the typical sales pitch of people and with people being consumers, everybody can feed into that aspect of things. Like, if you are somebody that likes to manipulate the collective of people because you know that you can use certain fillers and things like that to drive your sales, that's cool. And it's good that people can tap into that, especially if you're using it for good. But me, I'm like, I don't feel like doing, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like trying to use specialized sales tactics and whatever else, which obviously you have to find a balance because you can't reach a lot of people unless you're in the algorithm. And that's where life kind of sucks and you hit your plateau because who the fuck wants to be a part of the algorithm? Like, a lot of us are just trying to live life. We are just trying to live life, not be in survival mode, and learn how to make our own money without having to do things outside of ourselves. We just want to literally be ourselves every day. And you just have to figure out what that is for you. If it is you, I know that it's me. That is why I'm having this episode and breaking down the points of things that were affecting me this past week, and also to get back on track with what I was saying too. So some things that I could do to reset myself when I go through these moments is to write a why sorry, I said that right. Write a why I started this note to yourself. So obviously, my business means a lot to me. I have been through so many starting, stopping points. I've done so many different things with it. And that's because when I hit those plateau moments, what is your why? Like, sometimes my why behind something might be just because, oh, I want to be able to be financially stable. Or it could be like, oh, this was trendy, so I thought that's why I wanted to do this. Sometimes your resets are really because you don't have a real why behind what you're doing. And it's best that you can, sit down and try to reconnect yourself with that, or reconnect yourself with your product, whatever it is that you're selling. So today, for instance, I'll also post some pictures and stuff on here. I made myself a detox tea, and this is going to be another side note, but I have been craving sugars and processed food out the wazoo, and that was my next point. I was just like, I feel like I need to do some kind of parasite detox. So I used my tea products and I made my blend this morning, which I have it steeping right now. I don't know, I was just very excited to make my blend to get myself back on track because health to me is very important. So if I'm eating too much dead food or things of that nature, then I will start to teeter, all the way, which that's why I spoke about food is neutral. It's just the energy that you give to it, because obviously the energy that I've been giving to my food is more so like emotional, like an emotional filler to the stuff that I've been dealing with, because that's why I've been eating the food. I haven't been eating the food because I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, everything that I've been eating is so delicious. And I just love, like, I've been savoring the moment, sitting there, not on my phone. Like, no, I've been going to the drive-through, getting something real quick so that I can move on to the next thing. And then from there, I'm like, shit, I'm already hungry again. And so here I am trying to figure out something else. Like, I've been so disinterested in food that I'm like, bro, you need to reset yourself. You need to reset yourself. Just because you're disinterested in food does not mean that we're going down this path right now of eating a bunch of bullshit, because that's definitely going to keep you further off your game. And another piece of that too is women, periods, cycles. So my thing is, usually the week before, my cravings start to heighten as far as my sugar intake, but I'm telling you, like, this past weekend, it was like ridiculous. Like, I went to Seven Brew, got a medium matcha. Bro, Seven Brew has me in a chokehold, literally. That every day, not every day, but but close enough, if you're going more than 2 times a week, that shit every day. Yes, Seven Brew has been so fucking good because I love to experiment with the drink combos, and it's just something to look forward to for some reason, and that's what I've been doing. But on top of which, since it was also my birthday, bro, I had 2 cakes for my birthday. It's because they were bought for me. So I had a strawberries and cream cake. I had a carrot cake. I have just been going in on finishing my cake. Enough is enough. Okay, I have not started off any of my days with drinking a smoothie. So yes, today I am starting it off with getting back in touch. I am drinking a tea. And obviously, it is important to me that the lifestyle that I am portraying to you guys is my real lifestyle. So, a part of me coming on here too was having that honest conversation with myself, because I can't keep getting on here and talking about, oh yeah, like this is what I want to do. And it's not that I do that, because I don't. I really do just share my raw thoughts of stuff. Maybe I'll mention the fact that I drink a juice to start my day. The reality of it is that sometimes I have my moments where I will not drink a juice for like 3-4 days in a row because I don't want to. I usually try to drink the same juice to start off my day for a week, and then, switch it up and drink a different one. That helps me with my meal prepping and staying on track. But sometimes I will make one and I will waste it. It's just like, okay, like, I am honest with myself in those moments. I'll just be like, okay, it's not working for you this week. And it's usually because of some of these factors that I'm currently going through. And I acknowledge that, but then you have to have your day where you're like, all right, bro, it's time to get back on your shit. And you have to do that for yourself, because nobody else is going to do that for you. And this is me taking accountability on my own recordings to do so. So yes, and I will show my tea that I created today. And honestly, my goal is to continue to produce these things and show you what I like to drink, so that they're also available to other people. I don't want to, like, outside factors affect my true self and my products, because, like I've stated before, when you are being authentically you, there is no competition in anything that you're doing, as far as the products you sell, the businesses you offer, because nobody else is you. And honestly, I offer so much for myself, but when you're surrounded by certain people, you make yourself feel smaller, because maybe necessarily that group of people aren't the type to invest in your business. But the more that you put yourself out there, you'll find that you connect with a completely different group of people that they don't even live in your area, and they feel you, or they feel your products. And so that's where you have to keep pushing yourself. Networking, I was hesitant on saying networking because networking people usually use to find business partnerships with others, but really it's pointless because a lot of people are not really up to par business wise when you're networking, but networking is still good. So I don't want to say it like that. Networking is still good. So being able to put yourself out there and to catch the eyes of your tribe, hence why we are a soul tribe search party right now, because you need to find that core group of people that are going to be supportive of you and they believe in what you're doing just as you believe in yourself and what you are doing. So if you have your why written down and you feel true to that, then continue on that path and do what you need to do a little bit each day to get yourself back on track. Okay. I also, because y'all know that I do love astrology. I love astrology. It's simply just because I love learning what things mean. I love to give meaning to stuff as far as what is the deeper meaning behind something, even though people might be like, oh, there is no deeper meaning. This is like, you always be thinking too deep or it's not that serious. Y'all, it is. It really is. And that's why your life be playing with you because you think it's not that serious. And it is. Okay. So I had made a comment to speak about my North Node being in Scorpio in my fifth house. So I'm trying to understand, like, put all the pieces together as far as the houses 1 through 12, what they mean, but also when there's a sign in that house or a planet, sorry, a planet, and I guess all the houses have a sign, but if there's a planet in the house, what does that mean and what are the effects? This shit is so much. It's so much, okay? But for me, I'll let y'all in on my business for a little bit because y'all don't even know what I'm talking about anyway. So, North Node in Scorpio is here to transform, to go into the dark, shed old skins, and rise. The fifth house is about creativity, expression, children, and joy. Your life's mission is to learn how to be deeply emotionally authentic and express your soul, even if it looks weird or raw or intense. You're not meant to do life on the surface. You're meant to create through your truth, even when it's messy. So, hello. I am doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm right here on these recordings and y'all be sitting here like, what is she talking about? Or just watching my insanity in real time because I'm not insane. I'm really not. And I am more grounded than what I may sound like to other people because all of us are different. We are all literally different. Some people don't even have literal thoughts. And there are some of us that have way too many thoughts, or we just, everything is deep. Everything is, I'm also a life path 7. So do with that what you will, because you probably don't know your life path number, but you should learn it. Yeah. So I've already known who I am and what life is for me. I just am still learning the path along the way. You're a student at best, okay? Just because you learn these things about yourself doesn't mean that it is the end all be all, or that if it's an aspect where you might think of it as a negative, that's an aspect that you need to hone in on and own, as far as become friends with your demons, as I've stated before. And I will not lie, it is hard for me sometimes because with me being a grounded individual, my thoughts can become so powerful that I'm like, okay, shit, I'm losing my footing just a little bit. And this is where you have to have, sorry, I have a piece of hair that I can feel. But that is where you have to have these conversations with yourself, and you're like, what energy is trying to hone in on me right now? Because it's usually something of that nature. And yeah, that's all it is. It is going to be hard to get yourself out of a rut if you're in one. It is hard. And that's why I'm here too, because you have the deepest of thinkers on this planet that get themselves out of ruts. Not everybody just dies of schizophrenia and like that's not funny, but they literally are so quick to give people labels because people are afraid of the truth. And this is me just talking, of course. People are afraid of the truth, or what I should say, this is entertainment talking. And everybody labels mental illnesses as what they are, and people need all kind of medicines and stuff to get through it. And honestly, some people probably do, especially if they are not consciously aware yet. And their soul is trying to wake them up to things that they are not quite ready for. And a lot of people have to do what they have to do to get through that phase because it's not easy. It's not easy, but when you can own, when you can own it, when you learn how to open yourself up more to possibilities, realities, dimensions, perspectives, one at a time. I don't want to say one at a time, but yeah. You know, like that, there's a show that is out on Netflix called Common Side Effects. And that show is good as hell. Like, I'm not even going to lie. And it actually has an episode that comes out tonight. It's good as hell because basically this dude, and I'll post a picture of what it looks like. But this dude, actually, I should see if there's a trailer for it. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all the trailer real quick of this show.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, please.
Okay, just go with me for a minute. What if there were a medicine that could heal like almost anything?
A mushroom.
Not just any mushroom. The caviar, the ghost orchid of mushrooms.
We spend more money than ever on healthcare, and everyone's still sick. Think about all the people who make tons of money just from keeping us sick, by keeping us unwell.
This company, Reutical Pharmaceuticals, their CEO is this like evil. He's not even smart enough to be evil. He's like the devil's idiot butler.
You know how bad my life is right now? Ah, great. Now my room service is here.
Rick, what would happen if I brought this company like a new product?
You mean like a drug?
Yes, kind of.
Get me something by the end of Q3 and you can have my beach house.
Can we meet up? It's kind of urgent.
What is going on, Marshall?
2 things to mention. Some people are following me, and I brought my tortoise.
Francis, look around.
Does this look healthy to you? We have a chance here to change the world.
Common Side Effects. Series premieres with back-to-back episodes. February 2nd at 11:30 on Adult Swim. Next day on Max.
I got it. The last drug you'll ever need.
So I just took a shot of black seed oil, and then now I have my tea in a red Solo cup because I'm like that. Okay. So, I'm going to be honest. Some of these drinks you have to get through, but you want to reap the benefits. And I like to add honey as my sweetener to your drink, to my drinks, to my tea. And usually that's all you really need is those natural sweeteners, and you'll get back on track. But I just wouldn't dabble in too many sweeteners. Just keep it simple. Chug the drink if you have to. but that's usually what you got to do. So anyway, I just showed you guys the trailer for Common Side Effects. You should go watch it. It's so awesome. I love that show. And so after you take that mushroom, because that's what that drug is, if they mention it or not, I can't remember. But yeah, the drug of use is mushrooms on that show. And basically, after you take the mushroom, you start to see these little people. You start to see these little people, and that is where that thought came from of what I was talking about earlier, which neither of us probably remember what I was talking about. But yeah, we were talking about mental illnesses. So there's a particular episode, and I'm not spoiling anything, but this man comes after the main character because he feels like he'd been tripping balls ever since he had given him one of his mushrooms. And can't say too much because I don't even fucking know. It didn't even really speak too much on that yet because it was the end of that episode. But he had basically saved that man from dying because he was in a car accident and he had just fed him the mushroom and he survived. So I am super interested in what these mushrooms, like what the little people are supposed to represent, if they do come out and finally talk about it. Or maybe if you watch this show too and you have a perspective on what you think they might be, I'm interested because it's real life. Not saying as far as like I don't be seeing little people in my life every day, but as far as your mind playing tricks on you and you can even start to feel certain things that are false feelings or think certain things that are negative, and you just got to be able to take ownership of it. Yeah, I think I might have talked about everything so far. I do want to continue to make my YouTube content, even though, okay, so I dropped my first video on my birthday, and by the time you will see this video, it will be far beyond, okay? But I will be honest, in my practice, I do want to be able to record and edit and put the videos out in real time. Just as I did on my birthday, I challenged myself to do so. It wasn't impossible, obviously, because it's out there, right? But it was very challenging in a sense of it was so busy for me that morning, and it was a lot more stressful that I had to get that video completed on time. And for right now, I like the easiness of the days can kind of go by and I may not edit an episode on that day, but I do make it a point in my little weekly calendar thing here that I have. And this will get filled up. This was last week, boom. I write so much. It looks very unorganized, but I am very tight-knit about what things I need to do for myself. So anywho, yeah, I make it a point to try to edit one video a day. So that goes to show how many videos I actually record. Even though I only produce one a week for right now, I got to find my groove, and you guys are here watching me in real time figure it out. Hopefully that is motivation for somebody else to get themselves out there and do their content, because they're probably like, oh, I can do that every day. I can post my videos every day. Yes, do it. Do it if you can. Definitely do it if you can, especially if you ain't got no kids. More power to you. But is anybody else just getting bored with food? Like, what are we eating? What are we eating? At this point, I am too confused on what I need to do with myself. I'm going to be honest. Plant-based food is getting boring. It is getting boring. You know, I hate to acknowledge that I do actually like eating meat sometimes, just because it just brings a better texture to what I'm eating. For instance, like when I'm eating tacos, yes, I've had all kinds of tacos. I've had all kinds of tacos. But for some reason, when it comes down to taste, my top 2 tacos are going to be a carne asada, a street taco, of course, like taco truck taco, whatever you want to call it. And then second is going to be a beef taco, a regular. You know, I can bypass a chicken taco. Those are good. But like a shredded chicken taco, I can now bypass those because when I chew those, it's like it's too thick as far as I don't want to taste too much meat though. Like I'm at that stage. The ratio of meat has to be cool. I don't want like no fat or chewy ass pieces or else I'm gonna be disgusted from it. Like walnut meat tacos are cool. It's the sauce. If the sauce is cool, then it's all cool. But maybe that's what it is in general. Because even when I be trying to eat like meat, I'm not even really tasting the meat unless it's like me eating some wings or a burger. I'm not even really tasting the meat if it's a concoction of something, you know, and the meat is just blended in there. But for some reason, my brain will still register and know, like, yeah, there ain't no meat in here though. This is walnut meat that you're eating. And then I'll be like, it just makes it bland. But honestly, yes, it's probably because you just need a sauce to drown out that thought. But they're still crunchy. Like, yes, I do. I set out the walnuts. Okay. I also boil them. There's no amount of setting out and boiling that is going to completely take away the crunchiness of a nut. Okay. So, yes. And I also do like oyster mushrooms. Like I've had them as fried chicken. You know, it is good. It is good. Does my brain still know that it's an oyster mushroom? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But if I got some hot sauce on there and some regular like seasonings that I would put on a chicken wing, it's tolerable. I know because it's the sauce and the seasoning. But eating an oyster mushroom by itself. So this is where I feel like people be dragging it just a little bit because, and I could be proven wrong to this. I maybe need to try something else. But I've had it as like a stir fry as a chicken substitute. And also, oh, I was probably about to lie and say I had it as like a pulled pork chicken sandwich, whatever the fuck. I have not had it in that manner. I don't believe so. But that might be good because obviously it's covered in barbecue sauce, and that might make you feel like you're eating real chicken. Oh, I have. And yes, it was good. As far as like using different things to substitute your meats out, you can only do that so much. You can only do it so much, like in its natural state. In its natural state. If you're somebody that enjoys some good food, to make it as your substitutes, it really depends on what your food is. Because when I had stir fry, honestly, the only thing that I can have in there that's cool is like some fried tofu. Outside of that, I don't want no oyster mushrooms because they're slimy. They're slimy and the texture is still chewy. So it would be the same disgust as me like eating meat that's chewy, if that makes sense. So it is hard. It's hard. Then, oh, this is the thing too, because I had even ate some ramen noodles, but it was a hit. Like, no regrets on eating a pack of ramen noodles. It had been so long since I've had ramen noodles. Like, I went to the store to get ramen noodles because I was craving them, and I'm like, this sounds good as hell right now. I threw some butter in there, some hot sauce, all the seasonings, red pepper flakes, fucking garlic and onion powder, shit, whatever you fancy. However you make yours, that shit was good as hell. So, I honestly feel like I'm dragging it now. And I will admit, because I'm trying to make sure that I have gotten all of my thoughts out. So basically where we go from here, if you listen to this video and it resonated with you, the gist of it was to find your why behind what you're doing, especially if you are an entrepreneur. And obviously, if you were a woman and you resonated with this video because maybe you have been feeling emotional or you can't figure out why you don't want to go to the gym and why you want to eat sweets. I'm sure we all know by now that we are on a weekly cycle and we just change, our moods change and everything. But the basis of it is to acknowledge that, right? And to get ahead of it, because you don't want to walk around projecting that energy onto other people all day. Because it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be knowing that you're just doing shit, all day and it's affecting people. Like, you want to have healthy relationships with people. So especially, if you have a partner or you have kids and they're old enough to where they can actually have conversations with you and have their own thoughts back to you, just make sure that you're explaining to them, like, I'm not trying to project any energy onto you. I feel overstimulated, or I'm having whatever kind of issues that you're having. Like, start talking to them as you are to resolve conflict with older people. You got to stop using your kids as you can't just project onto them what you're feeling on a daily basis, using them as your I don't want to say scapegoats, but servants also. Servants. You don't want your kids to be servants to you. They got to learn how to process stuff in real time as we do, and that's our feelings as well. And a lot of people walk around not understanding how to process their emotions that they're going through because they never learn. So it's important that you do that. It's important that you do that, because you won't even be able to explain sometimes the shit that you be going through emotionally, and all you know is that it just feels heavy. But being able to explain that to somebody, they might also be like, oh, I have that sometimes too. I have that. And to be honest, it's not that you have to sit there and, every time you're having a feeling, you don't got to talk to someone right away. Maybe you got to tell them, like, I need you to come back to me, or separate yourself and be like, I got to come back. I got to come back. I got to come back. Like, that is literally what I have been doing over the weekend, especially when it comes to my baby, because he cannot talk. He only knows how to be a baby. Nothing is his fault. And I say that out loud every day. I say it out loud every day because as women, we are way too hard on ourselves. Okay. And it is okay to admit when stuff is heavy. Okay. And I was like, I gotta go, but not, I'm leaving my baby. I'm leaving my baby. But, maybe if he was screaming and crying and he wouldn't let me soothe him, because sometimes babies are just bored, or it's literally sometimes just boredom. And they want to crawl around, they want to get into everything, and you might have them in a confined space. And, as a human, you wouldn't want to be in a confined space. I don't like to be in confined spaces. So I understand that. But buddy, I need you to stay over here because I don't need you crawling around trying to stick your fingers and stuff and be unsafe. So this is safe for you. I don't know. giving examples and stuff. But yeah, like I just had a moment where I was like, I have to go. I have to separate myself. So I had to like step out of the room, just start walking around cleaning, let the in the moment heat and whatever, like just Miss Rachel even has a video about this, y'all. I had him when he was watching Miss Rachel, and yes, I do have a baby that watches TV. Yeah, because even I learn a lot from TV, and TV is not bad for your kids. It just depends what you have them doing, how much you have it on, and what you use it for. So yeah, Miss Rachel has an episode where she talks about processing your feelings and, being mad, but then not being mad after you maybe take a breath, like, and for me, I'm gonna still be mad, but I will have to do an abundance of things to like finally let that air out. And it feels so good to be able to find other outlets. Like, yes, if you got to go clean your house for 5 minutes and then make a tea, sit down, drink it, write in your journal. And then it's like right after that, you just bounce right back. Some people can bounce right back after just taking a deep breath if that works for you. It doesn't work for me because I'm just a little firecracker sign, and mixed with water. My birth chart has a lot of water in it, very emotional, but also grounded in some aspects. But when it comes to your temper, it can be harder to be balanced. So you definitely just have to find what your outlets are. Yeah. Don't let yourself continue to make little comments. Don't let yourself yell, get out of character, because you can feel it. Like you can feel that energy being exerted to where you're taking energy boost from yourself, if that makes sense. Because then it drains you so fast, and then you'll be sitting here mad as hell because now you feel like you need to regenerate. Like, shit, now I need to go in my room the rest of the day and not say shit to nobody or whatever the case may be, because you didn't allow yourself the boundary in the first place to be like, actually, I'm not even finna get into this with you. I'm not even about to get into this with you. And some people will steadily sit there and try and try and try and try. And then that is where you take ownership and walk away. You have to. You have to walk away, and then you can come back and tell them about themselves once you have gained mental clarity, because it's like, just as I had to be take ownership of myself and step outside to acknowledge that I'm exerting negative energy into this situation, you need to be able to recognize that within yourself and do the same. If it's somebody on that level, if this is a stranger, fuck them. Like, yeah, walk away, leave it behind you, whatever the case may be, because the universe will definitely handle that. They may come back one day as your employee or some shit. So never give too much energy into that. But if it's a loved one, if it's somebody that you can have a conversation with, then most definitely circle back, be like, yeah, when this is how I process stuff in the moment, I got to be able to just think for a second, and then I can speak with you. If you're constantly just nah, I'm gonna just start saying shit because I'm in fight or flight mode. I don't have mental clarity right now, so I'm taking accountability for myself. Don't feel offended if I have to walk away from you in mid-sentence. I'm controlling myself. See, that might be what you got to say to somebody. And if they're human enough to be like, for sure. And, I apologize because the way that I cope with things, because they might have an attachment thing, people are different in how they process. So some people might feel like they got to keep going back and forth with you because if they're trying to resolve a conflict, they feel like it has to be resolved right then and there. Or they could just be somebody that is hateful and they're just constantly spewing things to keep it going, to drain energy from you. And you'll be able to tell a difference between the two. Because if they're that, they won't even have the conversation with you. They'll be like, oh yeah, like they'll still try to keep the shit going. And in that case, dismiss yourself from them. Most definitely. Most definitely. I know an energy vampire when I see one. They are sent here to do a job. Don't let them. If it's someone that was like, yeah, I take ownership in the fact that I resolve conflict in this way, and I can see how that can be overwhelming. So to have common ground with that is, when we're in the heat of the moment, if you walk away, then, I'll understand, like, okay, you need time to process. That means that we have opportunity to talk about this later. So maybe I'll write down all my points so that when we are in a clear space, I can share the problem and then we can come together with a solution. Or maybe you guys didn't even have a problem, but y'all got shit internally going on both sides. And you're like, shit, I've been feeling heavy all fucking morning. I don't know what the energy is. So I need to go correct myself. And then I can come back and have a conversation with you later. But right now I have a lot on my mind. It could be that too. It could be that too. A lot of y'all be walking around projecting because you have a lot on your mind, or you're in an internal battle and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, or you're not allowing yourself to talk to other people because you're trying to be independent and act like you're not human, living a human experience, and you don't need to process stuff out loud. Yeah. So, y'all, you should know by now, we drop episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Keep up with me and give me some new books to read. Like, I literally only like to read self-development books, as far as it could be financial books, just mindset books, stuff that's interesting in that nature. Send me some book recommendations. Also just things to talk about in general, maybe that you struggle with. That's cool. I like to solve problems. And just use my page. Go on there, look at what resources I have out there for you. As far as just reading, if you need help finding books too, I put out just random stuff that, to get people in the right headspace. I have products on my page that you can make use of depending on what you're looking for in your life right now. And I will continue to grow and expand. So yes, definitely stop by my shop, send some friends to my shop, and follow your tribe on this journey. Until next time. That's a wrap for today's episode. If this resonated with you, don't forget to follow, share, and connect with me on YouTube, TikTok, and my website can be found in my bio. Let's keep the convo going.